we can enjoy this thing we are doing. And
babe, I'm always trying. You're always pushing me too hard.
So I'm confused.
Marriage is where good or bad behavior gets amplified. Whatever you notice before marriage will get amplified in marriage. You're only fooling yourself to think it will change.
Babe, how about how to spice it up? Are you permitted to use sex toys?
Let's go home. Don't forget what I told you: commendation, observation, recommendation, right?
It has become in my mind, in my life, that I will wait till a lady will walk towards me to approach me.
Jesus is love.
This is the Transforming Church International. One church making global impact.
I'd like you to be attentive. I'd like you to take notes as much as you can. By the way, let me give you a little bit about my background. I'm a relationship coach, marriage educator, certified by the Family Wellness Associate in the USA. Now, beyond that, I'm also a certified leadership coach with the John C. Maxwell Group in the US also. And above all of that, I've had over 2 decades of helping singles and married persons through relationships. I have in this house today people who have gone through my mentoring from single age and they are married today. So we've had people that have gone through this, and I can confidently tell you that what we have to share with you will add value to your life. Let's talk today about 7 major obstacles to getting into relationships and marriage among singles. Whether you are in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s. The obstacles to getting married are the same. The application may differ, but the obstacles are just the same. I would like you to be brutally honest with yourself today as we look at these things. Anyone that you notice resembles something you have to deal with, I'd like you to take note of it and say, this is a must deal with. All right? The first thing I want to show you is the Bible tells us in Amos chapter 3 verse 3, can 2 walk together except they be what? Agreed. All right? The Bible also says in Songs of Solomon chapter 2 verse 15, take away from us the little foxes, even the little foxes that does what now? They do what? Little foxes do what now? They spoil the vine. So what damages relationships? They are little things. And I want to show you some of those little things that you may not know is the reason why somebody gets close to you and the person eventually leaves and walks away from you. We want to look at that today. Number 1 is what I call wrong motives or wrong orientation. Wrong orientation, or what I call wrong motives. I have, in my years of interacting with singles and counseling, coaching, mentoring, in my years of mentoring with singles, one of the things that I found out is responsible for many of our singles not getting married. One of the things that I found is wrong orientation. And one of the things that wrong orientation does in relationship is that it sends early frustration into your partner. When the expression of wrong orientation begins to find its way through your interaction, what that does is that it begins to breed frustration. And so the person begins to make judgments like, if I never marry this one and I'm seeing all of this, what is the key? Run. And that's why now you are calling, the person is not picking the phone anymore. That's why now you just can't explain, what did I do wrong? You can't tell what you did wrong. And in reality, there isn't anything, if we're to look at physically, that you did wrong. What you don't know is that you were expressing wrong orientation through interaction that was generating frustration. Are you getting what I'm saying now? And I'm going to start sharing with you some of those wrong orientations. For example, the perspective that the person I'm marrying will complete my life. Don't go into marriage looking for someone to complete you. Go into marriage complete. Go into marriage what? Complete. Number 2, it's a wrong orientation for you to assume that getting married to somebody or getting into a relationship with somebody will take away loneliness. Relationship is not the cure for loneliness. You can frustrate somebody in your life, the person God has sent to marry you. You can frustrate the person out of your life by trying to make the person cure your loneliness. And how do we see loneliness in manifestation? It comes through unusual attachment. It is the reason why, hello, how are you? I'm just feeling lonely right now. Hello, are you at work? Okay. You just called him a few minutes ago. You just called him 1 hour ago. You just called him 2 hours ago. You just called that 3 hours ago. I need you. I'm missing you. And all of that. So when the person begins to see that I'm not yet married and I'm carrying this burden, I better drop it quickly and escape from my life. I am not the cure to your loneliness. Loneliness is an emotional problem. Marriage is not the cure. God did not give a man a wife to cure loneliness, because the man that God gave a wife was not lonely when the wife came. He was what? Alone. There's a difference between loneliness and being alone. Only people that are alone qualify to be married. Lonely people need treatment. Loneliness is a negative emotional state. It's a combination of so many things happening in one person at the same time. Loneliness usually normally happens to people who are dealing with cases of rejection, abandonment, people who are having wounded emotions. All of that put together, nestled, can create a feeling of loneliness. So you can be married and be lonely. You can be in a relationship with the most caring woman and man and still be lonely. That is why relationship is not the cure for what? For loneliness. In actual fact, if you are very smart, deal with loneliness issue before your divine partner comes. Otherwise, you will waste your season by frustrating the person through the loneliness that is at work through your life. Do you get that now? You have to move from being lonely to being what? Alone. It is not good that a man should be what? Alone. So the key is to be alone. When Rebecca came to the well, I'm sure you do know that Rebecca did not come to the well in the company of other women. The Bible says Rebecca came to the well alone. Somebody say alone. Yes, Rebecca came to the well alone, sir. And when she got to the well, she was so alone that she could fetch water from the well and need no help, no need to lean on anybody. Sweetheart, there's nothing wrong with having friends, but leaning on friends is a reflection of a deficit in your soul. You can't breathe without a friend. You can't move without a friend. You can't sleep without a friend. You can't go out without a friend. No. Check the women that got married in the Bible. They were women who were friendly, but at the same time had the capacity to exist how? Alone. Am I already opening your eyes to some things here? No, tell me, am I helping you already? See, this is the point. So what attracted me, ma'am, what really attracted me to my wife, now because I know, please write this down, responsible people like to marry people who are alone. Highly responsible people like to marry people who are alone. Friendly but alone. So here is the game. What actually happened was that when I was going to get married to my wife, because I know the nature of my assignment, I know that I'm going to be a very busy person. I know that someday in my future I was going to be very successful in my career. So, and I said to myself, I don't want a woman who, my house is such a busy place, friends, you know, every time, can't do without friends. You get that kind of a thing. But because I will need sanity because I'm a thinker. I don't want a case where I'm trying to think and I'm hearing noise in my bedroom. Her friends have come. They have no time of visitation. And when I want to tell her, sweet, I would like to think, but are you trying to stop me from my friends? You met with my friends, so you can't separate me from my friends, so So why marry someone you can't separate? So this is how some men think. When I notice that I can't separate you from your friend, I separate from you. And please, when I talk about separation here, I'm not talking about unholy separation. I'm saying be friendly, but can you please find a way in which you can stand in existence? You make your own choices. You make your own decisions. Not every little thing you have to call your friends. Oh, sorry, my husband is talking about our trip to Dubai. What do you think? Should I follow him? And then your husband is trying to make a decision with you. And then you say, sorry, sister, I'm coming. You enter bathroom. You bring out your phone from your pocket. Sorry, it's me and my husband. We are talking now. I just used to say, I'm coming to ease myself. Is this matter we are talking about? What do you think? What do you think I should tell him? You are not ready for marriage if you are not alone. Aloneness is a state of emotional wholeness, whereby you exist as an individual with the right to self-determination and self-actualization. Meaning you can make choices and you are not subjecting them to other people's approval. Meaning that you can exist in a day without calling anybody to be all right. Are you getting what I'm saying here? To be alone. God looked at Adam. Please, Adam was not sick when God said he needs a wife. God saw that the guy was enjoying himself by himself, with himself, in himself. God said, no. Because the whole arrangement of heaven is to make sure that there is a state of interdependence. Meaning there is always a situation whereby we relate with one another. So God says, I will create a woman who will become a helpmeet for him. Meaning where he ends, she begins. She comes around not because he's not complete. She comes to make up for whatever is left in his own life. So marriage is not the cure for loneliness. It is the reason why you will be married and you will still be what? And the loneliness in marriage is worse than the loneliness in singlehood. You know, during the loneliness of singlehood, without children, when you feel lonely, you can go and sleep in your friend's house. Right? You can go to the club and just club all night. Right? You can go drink, go smoke, go do all kinds of crazy stuff. But marriage cuts all of that away, making your loneliness to become compounded. So don't marry to cure loneliness. One of the manifestations of loneliness is the need to be needed always. The need to be what? Yes, write that down. The need to be needed always. How do you know somebody who is having loneliness as a major problem? Let me give you a practical example. Ladies who perhaps have issues of loneliness, the moment they come into your life, in order to be needed, they create the need to be needed, okay? So she does this for you, she does that for you, she does that. So write this down, she is more of a human doing than a human being. I can see some of you already like, wow, I just see we are missing it now. So you come into the life of a guy, you give him sex. He didn't ask for it. You were even the one that gave him sex. It's not like the guy didn't even do anything. You were the one that made him to do it. You are the one that came to his house. You are the one that entered his bedroom. There are spider webs here. The guy has been living with spider. Listen, this guy... No, listen, this guy is not only living with spiders. Lions, snakes, he lives with all of them. And they are okay. And then you show up, the next thing, there's spider here. Even when there are no spider, there's spider. There's cockroach. The pot is dirty. This guy has not washed pot in the last 6 months. And the guy's looking fresh. The guys know what I'm talking about. They're all laughing. They know what Fine guy. When you see him outside, clean slippers, clean native, pots, back, has not been washed for 6 months. And you come into his house, you want to do this. And listen to me, you're not doing it because of anything. You are doing it to be loved. Once you get into a relationship, there's this thing about doing. You just like to do. You are the one that sent him money. You are the one that bought him clothes. He didn't ask for it, you bought him shoe. He didn't ask for anything. You say, can we go to Dubai? Oh no, vacation. This guy is comfortable in Zuma Rock. He likes. You are the one that proposed Dubai. You are the one that is you just say doing. And listen, this is the reason why if you're not careful, you get married to him like that. You have already overmurdered him into marriage, and you have communicated to him that you're going to be a nurturer. So what then happens is that you then marry him. You came into his life as a doer. You then marry him, and again, your wedding, you sponsored it. The bride price, you gave him to pay your parents. Am I making the right point here? You all know what goes on. That is how desperate you are. That is how lonely you are. You don't know all these are the manifestation of what? Say it again. Loneliness. And the need to be what? Needed. Which makes you to be more of a human doing than a human being. You find it difficult to be loved. So you must do to be loved. There's something about you. The moment you come to a person's life, you just want to do to be loved. And by the way, let me say this. You are reversing the order of creation. As a lady, you are supposed to be more of a receiver. By design, you are meant to receive. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Now, Pastor Sam, does that mean a lady can't give? No, here's the game. You are a multiplier. So what happens is that when you meet with a real man, the true manifestation of a real man is that a real man is a giver. That is why the woman is created to be a restrainer. Oh God. Are you ready for some serious talk in relationship? This is not all this motivational stuff you hear on relationship. Can we go a little bit deeper? Let me give you a practical example. I feel like sitting down now and say, I tell you. Okay, so here's the game. I want you to listen to me carefully. You are all mature people, so we'll talk practical stuff. In my singles meeting, we don't call a spade an agricultural implement. All right? Okay, so watch this carefully. When a man is having intercourse with a woman, right? He ejaculates. In a single ejaculation, a man can send out as much as millions of sperms. Am I correct? Have you noticed that the body of a woman is designed to restrain them? To receive and restrain. Oh God. I'm trying to teach you what your mother didn't teach you. Because she too didn't know it. The woman is by design created to receive and also restrain. That is why woe to a man who is married to a woman who does not restrain him. So 50 million sperm cells come by design. The woman say, oh God, now wow, look at how much you are pouring out at the same time. I will receive one of them. The rest of them, we don't need them. Let them die. Is that okay? It's called receive and what? Because if I allow all of them to come, sir, we will have 50 million children at the same time. Your life is finished. So the woman is designed to restrain and at the same time receive. That which the woman receives, when she's to give it back to the man, it comes back more than what the man gave. He gave her a seed, she gave him a son. Are you getting what I'm saying? What he gave, he didn't even see. because it was so insignificant. What is the proof that he's with a woman? What comes back to him is so visible and it is undeniable. So when you meet a woman that is designed for you, guys, take note. How do you know a woman that is yours? She receives and restrains. So here you are a real man, and your nature is to what? I want to get it now. Your nature is to what? To give, okay? So when you meet her, how are you, sweetheart? Because it's our nature as men, created by God in his image. For God so loved, and he what? Gave. So that's how you know a true man. When he's in love, he what? Not he receives. So yes, all my sisters who are working class sisters, who are paying your way into love, you're still going to lose what you paid for. Be to be loved. Stop doing to be loved. Be to be loved. Stop doing to be loved. Look at how much you have done and look at how much it has cost you. So how do you know you are in love, you are in relation with the right man? Sorry, sir, what's your name again? Yeah, my brother. Sir? Samuel. Fantastic. Oh, you're my namesake, right? I mean, where's my brother that is hanging out with my sister? What's his name again? Huh? Lawrence. God bless you, man. I can see that your countenance has changed. You're looking more relaxed. That's what happens. More relaxed. Okay. So watch this carefully. How do you know that you've met the right guy? The moment you meet the right guy for God, and he's in love with you, for God so loved, and he does what? For God so loved, he did what? He gave. So the first thing you're going to be noticing is a natural, organic, authentic desire to give. So you'll be hearing questions like, is there anything I can do? What's wrong with your car? Send it to me. Can I fix it? I had your phone the other day. What's happening? Can I help you fix it? Now, it's not about whether he earns so much. It's not about whether he's rich. The proof of a real man is that he has a rich heart. This is how a man who has a rich heart talks when he doesn't have a rich hand. Marry a man with a rich heart, not a rich hand. If a man's hand is rich and his heart is poor, you will soon pay the consequence. You will suffer the consequence. So how do you know a rich guy who has a rich heart? You're going to be hearing, or a man who has a rich heart but doesn't have so much in his hand, you're going to hear, I understand your phone is having a problem right now. Please bear with me. Right now, I don't have so much. And I know it's really inconveniencing. Next month, I am trusting God I'll be able to get something and I'll fix the phone for you. Did you hear that? That's how to know a real guy. Now, why are we having problem with most men today? Most men, we are over-mothered and under-fathered. So most of our men don't even know what it means to be a man. Because they've been over-feminized and under-masculinized. So the only thing you can use to show you are a man is shape, size, beards, and all of that. So the woman marries the beards and the shape and the size, and then she realizes there is not a man in the man. So all my sons in the Lord here, all of you the men, the proof that you have come and you are going to be mentored by me is that you are going to start ascending into the true definition of who a man is. A man is a giver. When a man finds who he loves, the proof of it is the proof that God demonstrated. For God so loved and God so gave. I'm not saying the man gives accidentally, sir. He so gives. And the nature of the giving of a true man who is in love is that you are willing to give your very best. Are you getting what I'm saying here? How do you now know a wife material? Like that brother said, how do you know a wife material? A wife material does not use her 10 fingers to eat. So even though the guy has so much to give, a real wife material says, sweetheart, thank you so very much. What you gave me yesterday is okay. By the way, how are you managing your money? Is that okay? We can't be spending everything. Huh? Okay, I think we should go to Hilton today to go and eat. And she's going to say to him, sweetheart, calm down. Let's go to Amala joint. We don't need to waste that money at the Hilton. Does it mean she doesn't want to enjoy? No, she understands the concept of pay now and play later. Than play now and pay later. She can receive and at the same time she can what? All women can receive through wives restrain. So how do you know your wife among the women? You can't know a wife by the one who receives, because all women do what? But real women have the capacity to what, sir? To say, listen. Yes, we have all the money, Pastor. Pastor Sunday will remember Callistus, one of our young men. 12 years ago, Callistus was going to get married in Abuja here. We were using our smaller church then. And he was getting married to a lady from Canada. And we were told she was a millionaire. So we're waiting for a millionaire's wedding. So when they came, they said they wanted to see me. I said, yes, you're welcome. They said, Pastor, we only need 24 people at our wedding. I said, sorry, like 24 officials or... Said, no, sir, everybody that will be there should be 24 in number. You remember that wedding, sir? Owen House. Then on the wedding day, I said, let me come and see this mystery myself. We're there. They kept to the number. And when wedding finished, I thought there was going to be reception. They thanked everybody for coming. Thank you all for coming. And then please, on your way going out, we have some stuff for you outside, out there. 24 packs of rice. And they bought it from Mr. Biggs. They are stupid, Abi? They are broke? Can I tell you who they are today? The man in question, your boy, Callistus, our boy Callistus. Callistus is now the director of education. I won't mention the province, one of the provinces in Canada. This guy is a multi-millionaire, the wife a multi-millionaire. He was talking to me recently, he said, Daddy, we can't wait for you to come to Canada, I want to spoil you. And he called me and said, Daddy, I want to start a company in Nigeria, I want to start employing people. And we got one of our women in church, she's the director of his business for the whole of Nigeria now. How about those who did big wedding around this time? Who blocked the streets? Some are divorced. Some are living in a place outside Abuja towards Nasarawa around the boundary. Why are you here as a woman? We want to retrain you to be a wife. You are too much a girl. And the Bible says, he that finds a wife, not he that finds a girl. You are old in age, but still a girl in your thinking. You need to put aside girlish way of thinking, childish ways of thinking, and become a woman. Become a man. A real wife receives with generosity, with thanksgiving, with gratitude, but at the same time, she has the discipline to do what? To restrain. Marriage is not a place where you impress people in the beginning and you are depressed in the end. So one of the reasons why relationships fail is that you are just entering into a relationship with the guy. Hey, how are you doing? Thank you so very much. I learned you are a civil servant, eh? Yes, I'm a civil servant. I work with Ministry of Local Government Affairs, so. Or ministry, pastor. Give me an example of ministries where there's no real progress. Yes, I work with Ministry of Agric. There's a lot of work going on there now. There's a lot of money there. So, Ministry of Culture and Tourism. There's no zoo. So imagine that this guy doesn't make more than he is. Because civil servants, how much is the salary of civil servant? Left to every civil servant salary, nobody will be prosperous. The real money in civil service comes from travels and other stuff. So imagine you are in a parastatal or ministry where there's no such activity. And this guy tells you, my normal income is about 110,000. And you're not saying, thank you so very much. As we're planning the wedding, because a lot of my friends are going to come. I'm expecting at least about 1,000 people will come. Are you having a crusade? Is it a conference or a wedding? And because of my father's status in society. So am I going to use my wedding to amplify your father's status? If your father wants to protect his status, he should invest into the wedding. Restrain. Restrain. But when the guy begins to notice, so because of my parents, we have to do something very classy. Do you understand that? So I'm thinking that we're going to use the Hilton, the banquet hall of the Hilton Hotel. And by the way, because at the Hilton, you don't cook. So we're going to pay them and we're bringing 1,000 people. So the guy is seeing your mouth moving. And then the guy says, okay, so all this bill is for who? No, if you're not ready, then you now make such stupid statements like, see, if you're not ready for marriage, there's no point to. Then 2 weeks later, he's not picking your call. What is wrong with him? Pastor, pray for me. Pastor, pray. A witch has taken over. The witch didn't take him over. You drove him away. Foolishness. Foolishness. Start small and grow tall. Plan that you will have a wedding anniversary that can now be titled the wedding we never had. By that time, the marriage is already agidigbashos on the ground. One of the men in the United Kingdom, when himself and his wife started, they did their wedding a very simple way. Few guests, and they paid whatever little they could do. And they told themselves, in our 10th year wedding anniversary, we will do what we couldn't do now. 10th year wedding anniversary, they blocked London. They took what the Queen uses in London, they paid for it. Because by this time, they are multi-millionaires in the United Kingdom. A true wife is a restrainer. We had a young couple come to visit us yesterday, and my wife was telling them about our early days, how I would go and do training, and when I come back, I would drop. From the beginning, we maintain financial transparency in the family, so no hiding of money. So I would drop the money I make on the table, and my wife will carry from the money, put like 2,000 or 3,000 inside my purse. She will take the one for the house, a little of it, and she will carry the rest and say, sweetheart, tomorrow morning you're going to the bank, go and keep the rest. So that was how we started saving, little by little. I would tell my wife, I want to buy her this. She would say, sweetheart, no be now. No be now. No be now. No be now. Sir, she was able to restrain me. When our church moved here, we stayed in 1 3-bedroom flat in Efab Estate for 11 years. When I had the opportunity and the privilege to afford anything I could have afforded. I want to buy a car. My wife will look at me and say, sorry, are you going to be living inside the boot? She said, does it make sense that you are buying such a car, you are bringing it to a landlord's house? That you have never started bringing new cars. The ones you have, they have increased our rent. Wise woman. Wise woman. I didn't miss it when I chose her. I didn't miss it. Are you learning something here? Does it mean we don't? Several times they're giving me. I always want to make sure I take care of her. I impress her. She say, hold on. At a point one day, there was a duplex that was open here. So I went to him, I said, baby, come. Since our church is here now, I said, why don't I just go and rent one of these duplexes? She said, for what? I said, no, so that we can be close to church. She said, no. She said, don't forget, you are free to move there by yourself. The children and I will remain here. She said, the agreement we had is that from this house, we are moving to where? Our house. She said, it doesn't matter how many bedroom flat it is or duplex. If it's not your own, it's not your own. Restrain. Restrain. I don't like it when singles meeting goes quiet like this. Why are you this quiet? Help me look at your neighbor and say, why are you quiet like this? Please help Samuel. Samuel is meditating. Samuel, help me. So much is happening here today. Amazing God. I'm trying to show you why some of you have lost it. You don't know why the guy left. You don't know why the girl left. For you, the brothers, you are not liberal. You are not open-handed. At your age, you are asking a woman for a recharge card. Now, I'm not saying accidentally. I'm not saying that you were in a desperate situation you couldn't buy. I'm saying, good morning. How are you? Sir, you invested the baritone voice to beg. So it's a matter of concern. Even your ancestors are concerned. You took the weight of your masculinity. How are you? You are fine? Wonderful. I said I should just call you. You've not sent me recharge this morning. I literally can see your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather. I can see them all weeping. That this is not the version of grandson we want to have. You mean you confidently, not that there is a problem, you confidently will enter a lady's car and you'll be driving around town giving people impression that is your own. So wrong orientation is one of the major reasons why people are not married. There's so much we can dig into there. Wrong assumption about who a husband is. Wrong assumption about who a wife should be. That a wife is somebody that must submit to you without you loving her first. You don't have any mission, but you want submission. You are a bunch of confusion and you are looking for submission. Sub is for mission, meaning come under the vision to make it come to pass. So you are saying you are not submission. You are not. You even forgot that you are not submitting. You are not submission. You are not. Hello, sir. It's not you are not submission. You are not submitting. So. The issue is not that she doesn't want to submit. There's nothing to sub under. Where is the mission? She's been asking you for a long time, where are we going to? I know the road. I know the road. And then you go in the night, you're like, where they go? Where will I go? Where will I go? You don't know the way. Wrong orientation. Number 2. Write that down. Number 2. Negative attitude and toxic behaviors. Negative attitude and toxic behaviors. This is one of the major reasons why beautiful women are not married and handsome guys are still single. Negative attitude and toxic behavior is a major reason why beautiful women are not married and handsome guys are still single. You look good except for your attitude. You look good except for your behavior. Highly disrespectful. No regard for anybody. Full of yourself. There's no space for anybody within your space. You are the king on your throne, and you demand all men to worship you. This arrogant attitude, this commandeering attitude, this anger that just spills at every little trigger. You break bottles. You smash windscreen. Then when you come back to yourself, did I do that? When did I do that? Did I do that? I'm so sorry. I didn't know what came over me. Windscreen broken. I didn't know what came over me. 59 inches television broken. I don't know what came over me. You have even broken the door of the house. One day you will break somebody's leg and you will not know what came over you. Attitude. You meet the mother. Those of you who are Africans. Hello, sister. God bless you. How you doing? You good? I know you're schooled in Yale, Harvard, huh? I know you're schooled there, yeah? But listen, if you are here, so what do you call this country? Eh? So in this country, you don't meet our mother. You meet my own mother. You meet my mother. You want to marry my brother. And then you came visiting my mom. And you say, hi, Florence, how are you? My mother, Florence. You call my mother by name. See, not only will you no longer be engaged to my brother, you will be properly assigned some designer slaps and be ushered out of our house. Understand cultural diversities. It is common wisdom for a lady that wants to marry to understand when you are going beyond your cultural space, your traditional space, to learn their culture. Be like Rebecca. When she saw Isaac sitting on the field, she said, who is that man sitting on the field? They said, well, that is your husband, is on the field meditating. The moment she heard it was her husband, what did she do? She came down from her high donkeys. That is, nobody told her. Instinctively, she knew, I am not going to tell my husband to stand up and climb a donkey to relate with me. She knew that if this is a man I'm going to marry, I must do what, sir? Calm down. She came down from her donkey to meet him at his level. It's not that you are not a wonderful woman. You just don't know how to calm down, where to calm down. You don't ride donkeys into the life of your man. You don't ride donkeys into the life. Find a place of connection. You are too full of your accomplishments. Unfortunately, your certificate cannot become your husband. You are too full of your looks. Unfortunately, sir, you can only have a picture that reminds you of how handsome you are. It can never be your wife. We are holding on to things that are irrelevant and they are keeping us out of our joy. Wrong attitude. You see somebody's father. Hi, daddy. You are from the Yoruba. The guy you want to marry is a Yoruba guy. You see his father. Hi, daddy. And you too, the son. You know, I say, daddy, meet Susan. And she's like that. How you doing? And then your fingers, the day you were going there, the acrylic finger, they were super extended. They could reach a destination before you get there. And some Yoruba fathers who are properly trained, they're like, hi lady, you are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And then when you finish, thank you so very much. God bless you. Bye-bye. Then if the mother, Yoruba mothers don't hide it. If you look at the mother throughout the meeting, you know that something is... A Yoruba mother is not trained to hide that kind of feeling. Men don't like you instructing them. They prefer you suggest. So learn suggesting, not instructing. Suggesting is feminine. Instructing is masculine. You misrepresent yourself when you are instructing a man instead of suggesting to a man. You are already making him believe that when he marries you, he will not have a voice in the family. I'm telling you why guys walk away quietly. Don't ever dominate the conversation. It's a reflection of a controlling person. Even though you are not, it communicates a wrong side. Are you getting what I'm saying here? So please get this right. We are not saying that when you talk, because you're a free person, you like talking, you like to have your final say. We're not saying that you're a bad person. We're saying that the perception that you communicate will be skewed in the eyes of a man. Because whether you like it or not, by design, men always want to make sure that they have the final say. It is just a feeling in a man. It's something that makes a man feel he's a man. Now, can you influence a man without instructing a man? Women, talk to me. Is it possible? Absolutely yes. The wisest of women use influence. They don't use instruction. Are you aware that you can make a man take a decision that is yours? Sweetheart, I'm just thinking that, listen, we say speak, make it personal so that it can be important. Write that down. When talking to a man, make it personal so that it can be important. The way some of you are writing, I hope you're not going to write a book from this. If I catch that book and I notice it's my point. Okay, so, listen. In gender communication, when you are talking to a man, right? So you want a man to buy a house, right? You don't say, sorry, we need to buy a house. So we need to buy a house. Listen to me, I'm only telling you my mind. This is my mind. We have to buy a house. Me, I'm tired of this house. I'm tired. You need to buy a house now. A man will resent that kind of conversation. But think about this. Think about this. That's why the Bible says, a wise woman builds her house, a foolish one scattereth it down. How do you talk to a man? Sweetie, how are you? Say, listen, you know, I see that your God is really blessing your work and all of that. And don't you think you need more space, like your library, you need more space for your work? And if he's a pastor, I think you need a private place for prayer. Is that okay? Because I see that God is taking you to a higher ground. Listen, in gender communication with a man, when you speak the language of competition, significance, relevance, achievement, you get a man. So that I think it would be very wise. You need more space. And I think by the grace of God, if we're doing something like that, it will also be wise. That will be able to also help me to get a small kitchen where I can do much. There are so many things I want to do for you. Can you see how you are making the conversation more personal, right? That is how to talk to a man. And the man will take a decision to build a house without making it look, and without you making him feel you told him to build a house. Toxic behaviors destroys relationships. Toxic behaviors destroys relationship. The way you behave. And I don't want to start mentioning specific behaviors, but you know people complain about your behavior. Stop fighting those complaints. Start giving attention to them. It was behavior that ended your previous relationship. It was attitude that ended the previous one. Stop blaming the people. There's a pattern. Deal with the pattern and the problem will stop. Right, number 3. Number 3. Maybe let's do something here. Let me run through few behaviors. This one you have to write this as fast as you can. as fast as you can. I want you to quickly write these behaviors. Rigid behaviors. I'm trying to show you behaviors you need to get rid of. Rigid behavior. Hello, sir. You see me like this? Can you see me? This is who I am. I cannot change. I'm sorry. What you are seeing is what you are having. I can't change. And then, guys, you better know that this is who I am. I can't change. No, sir. Only people left in the zoo have accepted that statement. I cannot change. It's a limited way of thinking. Progressive people know that there is no behavior that cannot be altered. Rigid behavior. An unteachable spirit, unwillingness to listen, to adjust, to accept mistakes, to accept or even amend your mistakes or your behaviors, your attitudes. Rigidity. You've been corrected over the same thing, but you will never change. It costs people their relationships. Number 2, antisocial behaviors. Antisocial behaviors. And when it comes to antisocial behavior, we're talking about uncultured, unattractive, uncivilized, unapproachable, unwelcoming, and unfriendly personality or disposition. You are unfriendly, you are unwelcoming, you are unteachable, you are just somebody that nobody can read. You are just on your own. You are a masquerade. When you appear, everybody fear. Antisocial behavior. Anytime you come to where anybody watch, what's the name of this program? Where you have Nini Leaks. Say it again. Real Housewife of Atlanta. Every time they meet, somebody will fight. Attitude. Anywhere you show up like this, bottles will break. Anywhere you show up, there will be quarrel. Antisocial behaviors. The man that wants to marry is always afraid of seeing you. The woman that wants to marry, she's always afraid because every meeting you have, by the time you are ending the meeting, somebody is going back home sorrowful. Antisocial behavior. Number 3, ungodly behavior. Unfaithful behavior, unholy, unclean, unscriptural behaviors or beliefs. Whenever you relate to somebody, you are the person always making the person to leave God. I told you we are going to marry you. And since you are going to be the one I'm going to marry, what stops us from having sex? You have sex. There's nothing. So you've already gotten the benefit of marriage without commitment to marriage. And even in the commitment to marriage, there is no sex until you are married. And let me say this, ladies, never forget that the mindset of men works differently. Ladies, you give sex to keep relationship. Men actually go into relationship to get sex. See, there's a difference. You give sex to keep relationship. The guys go into a relationship to get sex. Meaning once they get sex, what happens to relationship? I didn't hear you. They jackpot. And here's the game. Men don't like to pursue what they've already conquered. Write that down. Men don't like to pursue what they've already conquered. It's okay. Now, hello, ma. So your nude picture is with him. He has told you to take lateral position, horizontal position, cross section, diagonal. You have all the like cross section, somersault, like that. Okay, stay on top of chair. Shout yeah. So. Hello, ma. You are not married, and all that is there. Where are you now? Sorry, I'm in the shower. Really? What did you say? I heard somebody say something. What are you wearing? No, I'm not wearing anything. Please, I'm in the shower. All right, that's a good place to find you. I'm on camera now. Can you put it on video? Okay, so I can see soap on your face. Can the camera go down a bit? Can you move it? And you too. Oh no, but the soap is entering my eyes, so. Is somebody doing you? Or somebody didn't tell you that we are hunters? We don't hunt for anything we have brought to the zoo already. If you're inside our cage, you are no longer to be hunted. Your usefulness is only within the time when we can catch you. Your value increases the farther you go from us, and yet you are pulling us close. So the closer we get like a mirage, the farther you go. That makes us pursue, because we don't like to be defeated. And a smart woman will keep luring like that until you lure him into putting the ring. And then the wedding night, you give it to him. But there's no ringing, but there's dinging. I don't know if your hand was heavy, because like I noticed you wanted to clap, but so sweetheart, you know the sad part of it? Somebody is hearing it today, and somebody will still leave this meeting and still behave foolishly. If that is your case requires prayer. And trust me, the kind of prayer you need, they need to bath you under a bridge. Like dip you inside water under a bridge where trucks normally pass on top. Because for you to hear this and go back to that, something is really wrong. And you wonder why guys keep dumping you. Because they have conquered you. Nobody climbs a mountain you have conquered. Because we have seen the summit. Coupled the fact that we have climbed it over and over. Even Moses only went to the top of the mountain twice. And when he got to the top of the mountain, it was covered. God didn't even let him see the top of the mountain. Mount Horeb and Mount Sinai. I don't know why you are laughing, what that means to you. God ensured, Pastor Sunday, that the top of Mount Sinai and Mount Horeb, God ensured that they were covered with a cloud. So that when Moses came, even though he was around there, he could not see that. But this one that the man has not even climbed, make commitments, he has not climbed up to make the payments and all of that. Well, your Mount Sinai has no covering. Horeb has no covering. So Moses climbed, Joshua climbed, everybody climbed. Even kangaroo climbed. You know, like that. Ungodly behaviors. Number 4, foundational behaviors. Where are you coming from? How do the men in your bloodline behave towards women? Are you sure you are not a replica of it? How do the women in your bloodline behave towards men, with men? Are you sure you are not also an extension of the women of your bloodline? Foundational behavior. I was speaking to 4 women. Listen to this. All of them had children out of wedlock. All of them. All of them had children out of wedlock. Guess what happened to their daughter who was there? Their daughter was exactly 18 years old when she also has a child out of wedlock. I was talking to another woman here in Abuja. She was 18 when she had her daughter. Her daughter was 18 when she had her first daughter. And all out of wedlock. Foundational behaviors. Today God will set us free. I didn't hear your amen. Influence behaviors. These are behaviors that friends make you to do what you are not supposed to do. Behave in a way you are not supposed to behave. It can destroy your relationship. Cultural behaviors. When the culture you are in, the culture you came out from, makes you to behave in a way that makes you to lose vital relationships. Cultural behaviors. Number 7, emotional behaviors. Negative emotional behaviors, throwing tantrums, breaking things, shouting, screaming, fighting, holding a man by his throat, slapping a woman, kicking a woman, abusing her verbally. All of this can cost you your relationships. The other thing I want to quickly mention is what I call toxic behaviors. Toxic behaviors. Negative and toxic emotions. Now, these are emotional displays that make somebody to say, ha, 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 this is not the kind of person I want to marry. What are some of those negative and toxic emotions? Number one, what do you find there? Anger. Deep-seated anger is a reaction to what? Loss. Let me say this. If you have lost anything in your life and you've not resolved it, it will always result in anger. You lost opportunities in life. You lost privileges. You lost a loved one. You lost your first relationship. You lost an opportunity to go abroad and you have not dealt with the matter. An innocent person will be the victim of your anger. Anger is a reaction to loss. Never forget that. Anybody you see who always gets angry, they have lost what? Something. So I'm teaching you how to deal with that today. The moment you notice somebody is always given to anger, ask the person, what did you lose? Work with the person to find what the person lost. Number two, depression. Depression is a deep-seated reaction to failure. People who feel like they are failing in life, they are not succeeding in life, people who feel that they have not achieved anything in life, they always go into what? Depression. And if you are the type, somebody wants to marry you or you want to marry somebody and you notice the person is always depressed, I'm sure you do know that the person needs treatment, not marriage. Marriage is not the cure for depression. Write that down. Marriage is not the cure for depression. Marrying somebody will not cure their depression because their failure will not be corrected by your marriage. They have to deal with the issue of their failures. Otherwise, being married to them will not cure the issue of their failure. Identify what they failed at accomplishing and help to discuss with them on how to achieve success in that area. Create hope and make sure they are committed to pursuing that thing before you ever talk about marriage. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Don't say when we marry, we'll fix it. No. Number three is frustration. Frustration is a deep-seated reaction to unrealized expectations. Somebody's frustrated. Why? There are too many things I've expected in my life that have not come through. I was expecting by this time I should have 4 children. Now I am here to marry you so that we can start having children. But you are still feeling frustrated over the fact that by this age you are supposed to have had how many? 4. Now my marrying you today will not deal with that problem because in your mind, even after I marry you, you expect to still have what? 4. Unrealized expectation breeds frustration. Write that down. Unrealized expectation breeds frustration.
Thank you for watching. We hope you were blessed and richly transformed by this sermon. Join us on site and online in any of our centers globally as displayed on the screen.
When we pray, there's a God who hears us.
Yeah.
When we pray, there's a God to answer.
Yeah.
When we pray, we prevail, we prosper. 'Cause with a God, all things are possible.
Follow us on all social media handles as shown on the screen. Also, don't forget to join Prophetic Prayer Hour with Reverend Sam Oye, weekdays Monday to Friday by 5:50 a.m. West African time. Join on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Rev Sam Oye. Please invite your friends and family members, for with our God, all things are possible. For more inquiries, visit www.thetransformingchurch.org. We celebrate you.
I'm intoxicated by the power in that name. That name is more powerful than neutron bomb, more powerful than chemotherapy. That name is more powerful than radiotherapy. I've seen the name work.
One church, making global impact. This is the Transforming Church International. One church making global impact.